and they drowned them all. So then the pshat was safe by just being, the invasion was taking care of us. We don't have to worry. But till then you have, because they had a Muhammad with Amalek. And Amalek, how many weeks later was it? It was definitely before Shavuos. So how many weeks was it? I have no idea how many weeks it was, but it was before Shavuos. So it's definitely within 7 weeks they're having a war. You'll say, maybe Amalek, a smaller nation. You think it makes a difference, small nation, bigger nation. You see the guns coming at you. That's what you see. You don't see who's aiming them or whatever it is there. So I don't think that was the chiluk. So what I think it is that the Avram Avinu's shvuah was still chal with Avimelech, and therefore they can't attack. Not only here, we see this even later in David's time. If you hold that David is also the Nechti is around for a long time. Boy, I don't know how he lived so long. But Lavaisa, he was around there that the pshat is even to capture Yerushalayim was not Pashit. Otherwise you can't do it. So therefore, obviously he's around. So you can't fight with them. So I can't fight with them, so they would go around them. So go around them, we like to, so good, so we'll tell them, or tell it, you know, we went around them because Avram's forward to Avimelech and they can't flee. You see, it works later when he tells them that by Edom, you have to go this by it's Edom. Why? Because it doesn't belong to you, whatever it is, and they were makabel, right? They didn't like it. They were makabel. The Taka came all the tiniest against the arichas of the trip. He came over there, but it wasn't because they had to turn away from the battle. It's just that they have to be there that much longer. That's all. They have to go save it, said them. So whatever, it's going to take them some more time. That was the thing. There's always another Epistertens than going in. But over here, there would be a good question if they'd accept it. That's the thing, the answer. Because they say maybe against Mitzrayim, he was able to, not against the Plishtim. Just like there was later on, we have with the Meraglim even having that doubt. Maybe against the Mitzrayim he can, against the Lamed Aleph Malachim he can't. So there's some that whatever it is there's whatever it's stronger or whatever you see, and they see it as a back-off. There must be a reason for a back-off. So that's where they be scared. So because it is, because it's my fault. I don't want to blame it on my father. Okay. But the Shiva explains in Parshas Tetzaveh why over there he thinks about the Shem Zayzoch. It's not the Parsha there. So if you look over there, the Shiva said the first thing was that even if the Bechayrim would have been the Kohanim, the Hadlokis Haneiros would have belonged to Aaron. Because if you take a look at the Pasuk, it says, Ratet Tzavis B'Yisov, Yichelech Shem Zayzoch, B'Oyer Moed, right? Yarech, Oisoi, Aaron, Ubonav Meravad Boiker. Those are the two Psukim, and that's the end of the Parsha. Then the next parsha, so till then they were not Kohanim, and they still had the mitzvah of Hadlokis Haneres. So he said because Hadlokis Haneres, when you teach Torah, it has to be pure. You can't take out the Shmorim afterwards. That was Rosh Yeshia on that. It's probably in the Darsh Moshe. But he said, how do you explain it? That he says a Rebbe sometimes asks a kasha and the guys don't hear it. So he builds up the kasha. You hear it now? You hear it now? Like there's until the kid feels guilty. And he says, yeah, of course, I hear it, they don't. And then the Rebbe gives the teretz. And he says, the kasha is that great. The teretz is a blah. He's gone it. Right? The Rebbe thought, I'm building up the teretz, so you should understand the kasha, then you'll appreciate the teretz. The teretz the kid don't appreciate. So now I have a kasha on that. He said it's more, he said in derech of learning, that's one thing. He said, but ikir is in ashkofe. He says a lot of places hire Bali Tshuva to be madrichim for Bnei Akiva or other places like that, right? And I'm going to say that, and Emerson, you'll tell me they did it Uri Zohar, right? It's not what you did with Uri Zohar. Uri Zohar was a television, whatever he was, and he's the pig face behind what do you call it? What do you call them? He was the thing. He's not here anymore, right? No. Yes, he was behind them. So what was the pshat, right? So, but that was what the Rashid was talking about. Okay. So pshat is. So now I'm explaining it. Okay. So first of all, the kasha was, where did Moshe get this fear that the Rebbe Shem had to tell him that you don't have to worry about Torah, Aaron's going to take care of it, you know? So I'm saying he got it from here. That the pshat is because when he sent out, you were afraid to do it, so giving you Torah, if you're going to have shmorim in there, you have to take them out. You may not get them all out, so they won't get there. You won't have a clear Torah. So how are you going to do it? So don't worry, put Aaron in charge of it. Okay. Now, the shaila is the second question. But that was, if you remember, last week we talked about the 6 steps of the Eniyadei Elisho, and the last step of the father is that he has to do so much toiv that it won't be recognizable in him that he ever was bad. And I said the biggest guy like that would be Reish Lakish, like. So Reish Lakish, but everybody knew the story of Reish Lakish. Right? Everyone knew he was a gangster, right? And Afal Pikein, if they saw him talking to somebody in the street, that they would say that the guy's so honest, I don't need Adam for him. That was the thing, though. So even if they could remember that you were such a person, but they don't recognize it in you at all. I mean, you're tzaddik gomer, you know. There was a story of a straight to my cup that happened 50 years ago. There's nothing against him. Could be Uri Zohar was such a person. I never met him, so I don't know. But it could be like he was, but it wasn't pshat like you only saw, about Tshuva. You didn't see about Tshuva. You saw Mr. Ben Teireh. That as far as you were concerned, he was always a Ben Teireh. So therefore, that's not an ikuv to you. They tell you that tziyus, you can change, you can do. That's the other thing. Because you don't want to teach the shiva, but what's one the subject, man? He also used it by Yelech Omain V'chatis Menashe Aviv. So he says, what's Omain got to do with Chatis Aviv? His father, he became Melech at 21, I think, or 22. He became Melech. His father did tshuva for 33 years. So that means he was 11. His father was doing tshuva for 11 years when he was born. So what shaykhs did he have to do to see any averes of his father? Except his father would take him out and the thing there, and he'd say, over there we did this and this avera, but I did tshuva. Over there we did that avera. So the kid looks at it and says, if that's the case, I can also do averes. I'll do tshuva next week, next month, next year. I'll always have a chance to do tshuva and stuff like that. Like I think I do also, like even for kids, you have the shaylas in yeshiva of what he called the Zelavatollah, things of that sort. That it's pushed. That I believe the reason certain averes that be the Odom. So Beston takes over 13. Anything that's done with the Shemayim, it's 20. So Zelvatollah, Misa Shemayim, is only when you're 20. So what's pshat in that? Why did God do that? I'm not. I don't really have a kasha on the but why would you think he did it? Because there's certain things that are bad, b'yetzim, you can't do that. Bezin takes care of them. But things that you have to reach madrege, I'm giving you 7 years to do tshuva, to straighten out, to control yourself before I come into God, because I know you're a young kid and you're not a ben teira yet, and I'm throwing on you the greste, what do you call it, the taivas I can throw on you, and you're a little kid. So I got to give you time to be able to conquer Yetzirah in the thing. So I'm giving you that time. And the thing doesn't. But don't think you can wait till you're 18, then I'll start doing tshuva. It doesn't work that way. In other words, if you don't start right away trying to not to do it, you won't be able to stop it to do tshuva either. So that you see, Taki, in certain people, you don't want to give him that excuse, I can be a sheikh a certain amount of time, and still be a tzaddik afterwards. Because by doing that, all you're doing is giving them the head to be a sheikh. And that you can't do. It's not safe.
Really, the story with Uri Zohar was, he wanted to be Makar right away.
Who?
Uri Zohar.
Uh-huh.
Shach says she learned for 18 years.
Uh-huh.
And that's when Lev Lachem started.
Oh, so that makes sense. Good. So in other words, you have to first purify yourself. Before you become, we've seen that around here. We guys, they get biddled, so immediately join in to the thing, and it doesn't go so partial. Nothing of Shiva guys, the neighborhood. Okay. So anyway, then the Ben Shalom wants to give Pare again. He said, even though they took away Bechira from you, but Lemaise, being stupid is not case of taking, that's not called taking away Bechira. Bechira has got to be something I could believe and I can't believe. So therefore, in such a thing, I'm not giving you a chance to see the Yad Hashem in the stuff there. So you think it's that it's gone it. But so if what happens in this case, if it makes you go before Baal Tzvain, and by Tzvain you're going to stop, and he's going to think that Baal Tzvain stopped you. In other words, that's why that you're not moving any further. And therefore he'll attack, because you see, there's still a God that Mitzrayim has, or something like that. So in other words, that the Beisham is not all powerful or whatever. And okay, in the Beisham here we get Ani Hashem seems to be the Herster Madrege of what he spoke about. Started in Hashem B'Kev Haaretz, Kamayni B'Chol Haaretz, and whatever it is there. So all of these things are less than when you start for Ani Hashem. Period. There is nothing else. That's it. And before you can think that B'Chol Haaretz, I'm stronger than whatever it is. Okay. There is the shaila of where it is. I don't know why there are now so much on the computer, but anyway, it's coming out that that Saudi Arabia is stuck the way they went. I still haven't got it too clear how they supposedly got it. They didn't go through Sinai. In other words, there's a different Har Sinai. There's a different what he called. It's also a much bigger area. The water now by the Straits of Suez. That the Chayr is not too big. I don't know what it is. 5 miles wide, something like that. 5 miles well, you got to get 3-4 million people, Jews, of course, plus how many Mitzrayim are chasing after them, and stuff like that. You all got to be in the Yam at the same time. You know, this thing over there, it's got to be pretty long. I said to the Bachim, I mean, to contest it, is we have the cups here for Rosh Hashanah. So you figure you have about 200 people going to Tashlach, right? And they look like there's a lot of people, and it takes a few hours to do an hour and a half or whatever to do the Tashlach. Why does it take a few hours? I mean, how many people you got? 200 guys, big deal. Move it. And it doesn't go like that, you know. You're going, so even though they're going, maybe they're not going exactly in line whenever, they're going spread out. But they're spread out. The spread out means nobody else gets in the way either, and the other guys are moving behind me and stuff like that. So you need a lot of mileage in between to be able to have a lot of people like that. And you think, in car things, you probably can see it too. A backup 3 miles is probably like 20, 30 miles, because bumper to bumper 3 miles means how many cars were they spread out when they were moving around, like across a bridge. How many cars do you think cross the Brooklyn Bridge every day? Right now I don't know, but years ago I remember it was only about 58,000. 58,000, I thought it was 1 million at least. I mean, like, no million, no training cup. You have no asagi of what the yours. That's what I'm saying. So they have, I'm not too sure, but it could be the Gulf of Aqaba they were talking about, so I don't know if that's going into the actual Red Sea, which is 200 miles across, or 150 miles across. That's where they definitely came into Saudi Arabia. That's where Saudi Arabia comes into. Okay. Okay, so the Rosh Hashiva said once on the Taichiv of Matitzek Elai Debab Nisov Yisov. The whole problem is we can't go. There's a Yam here, there's a Yam here. Where are we going to go? And Mitzrayim is here. So how are we going? Right? You still go. I didn't bring you here to kill you. I brought you here to save you. So how are you supposed to be saved? So obviously you go. I can't go, it's water. Who says you can't breathe underwater? Who says you can't walk? Who says it won't be a tunnel? Who says it won't dry up? Who says it won't this? In other words, why do you have your doubts before you start praying? I mean, stuff like that. Now, we're talking about you should have betochen. Now, we're going to see we're going to go into the each dinim of betochen is going to be here. About panos and all these things. So what does God want from us a little bit more than once we live through the Sionis, then He expects more of us. Okay. Anyway, in the end, it's interesting again to know that the Rebbeinu Shalom did use whatever it is, normal keiches that exist in the universe. Now, there was no nisim anymore in that sense. Look at the Rambam in Pirkei Avos on the union of Asor Dvorim that would never be Benesh Moshes. And he goes on the idea of the whole concept of Nes, Bisman and all that. Using that in mind, so it comes out that the water is not going to split. Water can't split. Water is going to flow. The Kai sheets, you can ask me from the Medrash that all the water in the world split, and the glass and this and that. I have no answer for that, so I can't answer you. About what did bother me in the thing to show that he's more like Kipshute, and have a kasha either way, is you have that he put in, he made a tanai, the tanai with the yam that you flow, but one time I'm going to use you, then you're going to have to not flow. Okay? There's no kasha. So he made that into the B'riyas. I'm learning Chulun, and he comes over there, and Pinchas ben Yoyer comes to a river, and he's going to be paid the Shvuim, and he tells the river split, and the river tells him to fly a kite. You know, anything over there. Why? Because I'm doing Maaseh of the Rabbeinu Shalom, and you're doing the Breitz of the Rabbeinu Shalom. Mine is definitely being Mekuyim. I'm flowing. Yours is a suffix of being Mekuyim. So who says you're going to be successful? So I don't have to stop you. I'll dry you up. Okay. So Mashmat is, he has that keach. Okay. So he splits him once. He splits him a second time for an Arab, for a Yid coming after. He splits him a third time for an Arab. And that you're going to tell me is that if the Rebbeinu put that into Maaseh Bereshis, that you think they have a need in the future for Pinchas ben Yoyer to split a river for an Arab? I don't believe that. I can't. It doesn't make any sense. Right? So obviously the elder was the young shot like the Rambam. I put it into the Bria that it's shaykh. How do you do it? Oh, so that's a question. So how do you freeze? How do you get water to be dry land? I mean, so the Goyen learns it's ice. That's what it means. Well, I'll show you this in a minute in the Pasuk. I can also learn that he sent in a bunch of tornadoes, and they blew all the water out of the thing there, and then wait for the Yidden to piss. And somehow it still had that power, or it blew it out. There was till the water came from Weiter to fill it up. I have no idea what the Rebbeinu could do, but obviously he could do something like that. Because look at what it says in the Pasuk. Moshe is now ready to do the Yam Suf. Vayet Moshe is Yodei al Hayom. He spent it to split. Vayelech Hashem es Hayom beruach kodim asa kol halayla. Vayosim es Hayom lecharova. It took a night of wind blowing before the thing became charova. Right? So therefore, what's pshat? So that was he didn't make the water split. This when he put the water there, it took a whole night till the water split. Now or it became dry land. Didn't say it split. It became dry land. So how to become dry land is it's either they froze it. Okay, they say you can walk across the Bering Straits from Siberia to Alaska in the middle of the winter. You can walk across the thing over there because the water freezes over there to that extent that you can walk across. Okay? So if that's the case, so that's one way. That I take a ride to the gore. Or as I said, he put to get all the water out that it shouldn't be there. It took a night of storms, the whole night. I don't know. And that's when they came in. Okay. With Miriam, I will leave that alone. That's not the game now because we don't have that much time. So I'm skipping the Yam Suf and Miriam. He came to Morah, 3 days ahead, no water. They came to Morah, it's bitter water. So he told them, put wood into the water, and then vayimtiku hamayim. So Rashi says it was nes b'tzoich nes, right? Why? Because the wood that he put in was also bitter. What would we say about that? Is it nes b'tzoich nes? So that's good for the Bria. That's important to know. Maybe Rashi wasn't market. I'll explain this in a minute what I mean by that. He didn't go to chemistry class, okay? But we know what lye is. Okay, that's a base. You know what acid is, right? Okay, talking not about a stomach acid like citric acid, okay? Take nitric acid, right? That's what's in your kishkis. So I have no idea what it was when I was in Tells. We it was pretty hefty as far as the ability to use the rooms and the chemicals and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun to play around. So we used to get in there. And they didn't have really the proper equipment, meaning like you had glass tubing and stuff like that. So we used rubber tubing, right? So we're making nitric acid, and all of a sudden the rubber tubing burns up. Don't you understand this? So we got nitric acid, and we don't know what to do with it. So we put it down the drain. It maybe lead up the whole drain. You can't put it into the drain there. We'll spill it outside on the street, on the sidewalk. It was there. The yeshiva was in the courtyard, which was cement. So we went outside and we poured out the nitric acid there. It was the cleanest sidewalk you ever saw. That's what it is. It burned up the Now, there used to be a couple of guys in Shir Bays. I don't think they're here anymore. I mean, one for sure is not. So they used to want to show the kids things. So they would take they showed you what the acid does and what the base does. They'd mix them together and then drink it. Because that becomes like water. It counteracts it, right? Not only do I need a stronger lye against nitric acid to make it even, if I put in a lemon juice or orange juice against lye, it will also make it into water. Any acid does the thing. The pill plate. So that's the keach habriya that the Bench made. That's not a steal. It's not a ness. That's the keach habriya. That's what I'm saying. So the Bench just told me this. So I say, so what's Rashi? So Rashi didn't know that? Maybe. I don't know. But I remember talking to Rashiva about opening cans. So Chazanish has, if you open, the old juice cans. I don't know if they make any more like that. I don't think so. Like, it's off the shelf, not from the refrigeration, off the shelf. But they used to make a beer can. But now you have a tab, so again, it's not right. You used to make two holes, one on each side. One was bigger, one was smaller. What were the holes for? I don't know. That's what you're supposed to do, because you won't get the thing yet. I didn't know then you learned this and this. But you don't know that this you need to get the air in, so this places the what do you call it, therefore you can get out. I didn't know those this, but I was taught it. And then I was also taught in the chemistry class when you came into, the guy would fill up a glass of water, put a piece of cardboard on it, and turn it over. And try to hold it as steady as he can, like without tilting it to any one side. Pull out the cardboard, and the water will not fall out. That was the ness. Why won't it fall out? Because unless you tilt it and get the air to go in a little bit, it doesn't fall. So if you have it exactly the thing, until you get it exactly, I don't know, how exact you can get it. But the vice is that was the things that were always done to teach us these things. So the Chazani says, if you made two holes, so it's a Rabbanan. If you make it interchangeable holes, I mean, you made the same size, with today I go from his side, that each one is lahachnas, lahitzin is lahaisa. Right? So I was talking to Rashu, we're talking once about the cans. So he says he wouldn't think that a thing that you have to know these ideas, like that's considered a simon. That the guy knows it's lahachnis, because you don't see the air going in. That's it. So you have to know the scientific fact that that's what's doing it. That not everybody's a baki in, so you can't call that a malacha. See, things are hard. So I'm saying, so I don't know if he knew it or not, that I can't answer you, in other words. But l'maiseh, it's something that you have to be taught. It's not something that's poshut. So the thing is, I don't know if that's considered, a thing. So Rashi wasn't taught it, so it's not concussion. Okay. They came to Elim. Like Elim seems to be, besides say it over here, there's a few times in Torah they put Elim apart. Pasuk by itself, for the end of Parsha. Like, why is it so special? Because there were 12 bearers of Mayim and 70 trees. So that means it speaks to Klal Yisrael. So it speaks to Klal Yisrael. Not everything that you see in life is in a soyin. Sometimes it's chizuk in what you see in life. So you saw that this is a perfect place for Klal Yisrael. So that's what it's a perfect place. Anyway, they come to Midbar Sinai 1 month after left Mitzrayim. It says 1 month later. What did he eat for that month? So, either the dough that they baked the last minute with the matzah, or was left over from the Seder, or both, and that lasted for 30 days. So you find that they did not complain until they had no food at all. They didn't complain. The tremendous betochen that they had. Okay? So they had this tremendous betochen, and they still came and complained of ancient. The tinies on them, why do you give me this mushalim if you're living in Mitzrayim eating meat and stuff like that? Why don't you just say we're hungry? That's all. That doesn't mean. The Gemara in Yume says that they ask for lechem, they ask gehoigen, for basar they ask like gehoigen. We say Ayin Tes every morning. Ayin Ches talks about the chatoim of the Midbar, and it says they ask for bread like Goigen. So how is the Gemara creaking on what he called on Tilim? Tilim is doch Beruach HaKodesh. So whatever it is there, the Gemara is just up teaching the Ksavim. So how do you have such a thing there? So one at a time, it's like this. You see the grace of betochen they had, right? So Moshe Rabbeinu says, the Gemara says, so they did. So they didn't get hungry until they had no more food. When did they get hungry? Let's understand how we eat. We eat 3 times a day, right? We eat breakfast somewhere in the morning, after davening, before we go to work, or to learn when it's said, yeshiva, whatever it is. And that lasts us till lunchtime, right? And usually you're not hungry till lunchtime. Now you'll see you're never hungry. Yeah, sometimes you get hungry. I was a little hungrier today. But so when we eat lunch in 15 minutes, okay, no problem. So you eat in 15 minutes. You're not starving, right? It's not a tightness. Same thing goes on Shasapa. What happens if, let's say, at 11 o'clock, they'll tell you there's no lunch today? When do you get hungry? That was the problem. They got hungry at 11. And he said, Nafal Pikain, they only complained when they were hungry. And the Tidlin, I think, is arguing and saying they shouldn't have gotten hungry till 1. So the idea, why did they get married at 12? Because they didn't see any lunch. So obviously, they didn't have betochen that they're going to have lunch. If they had real betochen, they wouldn't have gotten hungry. So therefore, that was like a hoik. That's what one time. So sometimes the Ben Shemons are very high madrega. Why do I want very high madrega? Because I showed you already I can do it. That's the problem. So you see a lot of guys who had, especially in Panos in Yonim, that something worked, that he had no money, and all of a sudden he had a Yeshua Hashem. However it came about, right? So once he saw the Yeshua Hashem, he has no heter next time to start complaining and worrying. He saw it. You got to pray. I don't know if the Rebbe will do it for you. That's a different story. About the worry, what am I going to get it? What am I going to do? That you shouldn't have. Because you saw what can happen. You saw that the Rebbe has the rochim to give it to you if he wants to. So therefore you have no heter for that. That's the time that I think that he learned from there. Okay. Anyway, the Rebbe tells Moshe Rabbeinu to tell them that what he's going to do is this. He's going to give them lechem in the morning, meat at night, and for 6 days. And on the 7th day, they're going to pick double on Friday, because Shabbos they won't have any. Okay, so he told it to them right in the beginning. And he told them that, right? Okay. And he went and they told it to Klal Yisrael. Okay, and they told it over, but Moshe Rabbeinu does not tell them about Shabbos. He just tells them about the morning and the bread and the meat. He doesn't tell them about Shabbos. Why not? Why didn't he tell them about Shabbos? My svara, I have no idea, really, because I never had the mitzvah, so I can't answer you. But the way it seems to me, if I tell a person that's used to picking up for a aimer a day for every day, and I tell you Friday you're going to need 2 aimerim to pick up, but you don't have to pick it up, only one, or you pick up one will be enough. Is the guy going to stop himself, or can he stop himself from picking up a second one, or part of one? Or pshat is he really doesn't believe it, and therefore he'll try to sneak in a little bit, that it's going to be there. That's the thing about it. So Moshe Rabbeinu didn't tell them. So what will be the first time they will definitely pick only one, and it will be 2. So maybe that will be the biggest lesson for you. You don't have to pick 2. That's the point. We also learn from here that the Bensham pays for Shabbos. But more than he pays for Shabbos, you don't have to do malacha even for that. So this that we think about, when we make our cheshbon, or we think we're making our cheshbon, of how Shabbos, how the Bensham pays us back for Shabbos, so it's not from the cheshbon or whatever it is, it's got to be for money that we didn't work for. If we worked for the money, so then it's not for Shabbos. Then it's Shabbos like any other day. I have to work for it. And here the Dafki didn't work for it. They picked on the one became 2. It was not that they picked it in there. So therefore you don't have it. So the weirdest people have money that they don't work for. Okay. So I think you have what will have come up today. So people who are in that type of business, like a taxi or where there's a lot of tips and the waiter and stuff like that. Not talking when you put on 20% on your thing, and that's part of the salary already. That's the thing there. But when they used to leave it up to your goodwill. So some guy would give a big tip, some guy give a little tip. But l'maaseh, it's without a cheshbon. Without a cheshbon, I don't count on it. Because I can't count on it, because I don't know how much I'm going to get. So therefore, I don't count on it. Those things. Where else would you have it? Let's say where you didn't expect any money from, let's say, see a Rav doing something, a Shiva doing something, there's a big difference. The Rav, that's part of his parnasa. Or Shiva, that's not part of his job. But you're marrying off, you tell me, let's say, getting a for see the Kedushin, right? What's he got to do with me? Right? I'll be Yisrael inside the Kedushin, sure. That's nothing to do with money, right? Let's say a guy's used to, he's a balabas, and he's used to giving the rabbi all the time, and this time he gives the Rosh Hashiva. So he got money that he didn't work for, he didn't expect. It's not pshat, but you worked for it, you did this. Yeah, but that's not what I charge money for. It's not called I worked for it. You know what I mean? That's not called working for it. Real estate. I was told this is by Chani's wife, Chani's wife. She said you can see it that way. How? Because let's say you ask your person how much he wants for his house. You become a broker. He tells you, I'd like $500 for the house, but I'm willing to settle for $450. Right? So what's the point of that? So the broker knows how much room he's got to dingzach with the guy. No, he asks for $500. So a lot of times it's going to be somewhere in the middle, something like that. What happens? He says to my the owner wants nothing less than $500. Fine. So he's now getting a commission on an extra $50,000 that he didn't even expect. Right? That's 6% of $50,000. What is it? $3,000. Yeah, it's going to be $3,000. Right? That's Shabbos. Because you didn't expect it. No, no one said you can't have it, but it wasn't part of the cheshbon. Okay. Could be stocks, would be the same thing. Not what do you call it? Not dividends. I'm not talking about dividends, I'm talking about stocks. I can settle it. The market went up $5 today. If I sell, I make him $5. I don't sell, maybe it's not called I have the $5. I'm not getting involved in that now of Parnosa. But I'm just saying, but technically, right now I have $5 that for no reason I have $5. That's the point. Now, tomorrow I may lose that $5. It's a different story. Don't think that way because then you'll lose it. I'm telling you that right now. Okay. And he told him, what do I want you to do? I want you to pick an omer lagukolos. You know, we know Jews are pretty smart. Not one guy in the Kol Torah HaMid book can pick out to be an entrepreneur, to pick out how to make $1 billion here. I mean, I figured it out very easily. He made different boxes, right? And he told the guy, you fill up this box, you don't have to worry about how much you had, this or that, because you need 10 oimrim, because you have 8 kids, you and your wife, so you need 10 oimrim. You fill up this 10 oimrim box, fill it up, and you got it. What did they do? They went and picked blindly, and then they measured it keneged the oimer, and he was always an oimer. Vayilketu hamarba v'hamamit, the guy who took the lot, the guy who picked the little, and they all only landed up on the name there. It don't make any sense. How did that happen? Very simple. Ishtadlus is up to you. It has nothing to do with the Metzias. There is no such thing as a Metzias. The Rebbeinu they generally will tell you what it would take to do it on the normal Hashorah, but guaranteed, no. So, the Rebbeinu wanted to pick these 2 types of people. It's not enough yet. So he keeps putting in. But how much are you picking? An oimer. Now the guy says, it's plenty. How much are you picking? An oimer. He's not saying, I just put in a piece and then let's say grow. That's not what he's saying. And he's not the guy putting in a lot. It doesn't mean I'm going to have more than I put in. That's not what they're doing. They're both picking in an oimer. You will have an oimer. That's why it shows you. It goes after your hishtadlus. So let's say we do a certain hishtadlus, and we're doing it for a long time. So we see it works. So if that's the case, I don't have to do any more, right? One day, 0. So what do I do? Do I do more hishtadlus? I said the way is, let's say, as a salesman. My normal mode of operandi was I needed 20 cold calls where I would get 5 new orders from it, and I need 10 repeats from my customers. Okay, and this worked. One day I get nothing. Okay, everybody's got. So what do? I can go and call 40 cold calls. Maybe I'll get somebody. Right? Maybe the Rachel will give me talking. And then what will be, I just upped my hishtadlus. I was getting away with 20, now I got to make 40 to make that panos. Because you thought 20 wasn't enough, they need 40. So the best thing to do is to say to Rabbeinu Shalom, I did hishtadlus. Obviously it's enough because I've been doing it for 10 years and it was fine. So obviously it's enough hishtadlus. So that means that today, for some reason, you don't want to give it to me. Right? If that's the case, I'm going to the base medrash. I'll see you tomorrow. And that would be the best answer. That's what I think. Okay. And then it came out that what? That he put away the tzintzenes hamon, and he came to the Yodirmi, he came to the door, his door, and he said to them, you guys are not learning Torah. So they said, we can't. We have to make a panasa. So he took out the tzitzenes hamon, and he showed them what he did in the midbar. Was did that mean that he was trying to show us that the Reuven Shalom is going to do money again? He's not doing money again, right? So what we trying to show with the money? This Tuesday, by the way, past Tuesday, was when all the guys go and they said, what he called Parshas Hamon. I heard even better, the Mavis Sedrit, the whole Mavis Sedrit on Tuesday. On the thing Dalton says, you read Mavis Shaddan, and that's the panosa for the whole year, and that's what they work on. Okay. So I'm saying, so somehow this Parshas Hamon is panosa. You know, it's not in your hands. That's the main thing. This is what the Benshim gave it. It doesn't exist. It has to exist somewhere in the world because otherwise it's a nest of a new bria. And that can't do it. The Benshim made everything ben hashmashas. So what do you use it for? What's it being used for? The malach hashore is eating it. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's the Eitzadas or the Eitzachayim. Whatever it was there, that was this thing. I have no idea what it was, but it's something in the world. And so whether we were access to it, that I can't answer you. There's a lot of things you're still finding. So, okay. Okay, they came to the Masa. What is the union of Masa Meriva? He came, there was no water. What was the Aveicha they did? I don't know. Give us water and we'll drink. And all of a sudden it calls us it, and they said, Matzo Meriva, right? Because Vayikra Mokah Masa Meriva, Ariva B'nei Yisrael V'anis Nasaisem as Hashem. You tested God. Would they test God? And it's a posik in Eschanon that says, Al Tanasu is Hashem, like you did in Meriva. You know how to test them like that. What does it mean? What did I test them? I asked them for water. I'm thirsty. What was the kasha? So if you look back to Mora, they didn't ask him for water. He asked him, what should we drink? Right? Ayisa Moshe Yisrael Yasser Man Vayitzu Vayivay Vayosef Layochel Lishis Vayimor. What should we drink? The same thing is in second in Balaischa. It should also say manishte. What should we drink? By the second hitting with a stone. I think he said also manishte. the chukas. I'm sorry, it's the chukas. Look at the wrong sedge, you're not going to find it. That's for sure. Chukas. Vayavish Mishin Kachas and Lamans. Yemaim Leil Vaikom Mishva Mayeviram and Maish Vayem Lema Lugavan Vachachen of the Lama. They maybe even was better. They didn't even complain that we're thirsty. They just said we're dehydrating. We're dying of thirst. But they didn't say what they would give us, just, we're dying. You gotta do something even better than that. Because the Benishim told them, go out there and give our kids water. And then things open. So that could be the Benishim. So he said, Rashiva said, where's it Negeya to us? What's called Tanasas Hashem. Guy is out of work, right? And he has an appointment, he has an interview with a job that he applied for. He shouldn't say, Rabbeinu Shalom, please make me good, get this job. He should say, Rabbeinu Shalom, I need panosa. I happen to have a job, I happen to have an interview with a place. I don't want to look like a fool, so please make me do well. I didn't ask you for the job. The job is panosa. That's something else. I need panos. I didn't tell you which job to give me. You give me the job. So, but I still want to do well. I don't want to look like a jerk. So my neighbor said, that's why I'm asking you to make me do well. And that's mutter. That's what I'm trying to say. That would be mutter. And the thing, but that's what he said is testing Hashem. If you say, Benishma, I want this job, that's testing Hashem. That's the only job you can get. You only want this. You want to give it to you. That's your problem? That's testing. Okay. Let me see here. We'll leave for Purim time. We'll leave Parshas. Have a good Shabbos, everybody. A wonderful Shabbos.